Hey there boys and girls, welcome back to Indian Motorcycle of El Cajon. In today's video, we are going all through the ride command system. So the 7-inch display screen that's right in front of here, we're going through every single step, every single screen, how to use it, how it integrates with the ride command app, touching a little bit about Apple Carplay and its uses, and just overall understanding what ride command is. Now this is going to be specifically for 2020 ride command and up, and that's going to be found on Chieftains, Roadmasters, Pursuits, and Challengers, everything that's a big touring bike. That way you fully understand how to use this thing. All right, let's go.
All right, let's get started. So the very first thing you're gonna see when you turn your bike on, you're greeted with a pretty cool, smoky, lightning Indian motorcycle logo. Nice little way of saying hello. And then of course you'll always get your warning just saying to pay attention to the road. Pretty simple and straightforward, right? So the first thing we'll go over is this button. This is your rider screens button. Okay, so as I swipe through here, you'll notice 3 tabs down here on the bottom. So you have 3 different sections of rider screens. And for this motion, you can swipe with your finger, or there's a trigger behind your left controls, or you can do it hands-free and go through all of the screens, which we'll get to the rest of them here in a second. So first little tab is going to be navigation on the left, which will show you the direction, everything you're doing, riding, moving on. And then widgets on the right for you to customize. I'll get to that in a second. Second screen is vehicle information. So miles of fuel, battery voltage, miles until your next oil change, and your PSI for your rear and front tire. And then again, you customize these widgets. The third screen is ride information. So your riding time, your distance, your moving time, your stop time, your elevation change. Here you can clear and start a new ride. The point of this screen is to communicate with the app, Indian Ride Command app. It's gonna save your ride. You can share that with other people. You can download other people's rides. Or if that's no interest to you whatsoever, you can just honestly leave it alone. But it's a really cool feature we'll dive into a little bit more in a second. So first off, these widgets. So let's say on this first screen with your map, you don't like the idea of your battery voltage or your odo or your temp. So you can press this little gear button down there in the corner, and these are all of your different widgets you can use on that main screen. So let's see, maybe you want your garage door opener, assuming you've installed HomeLink. Maybe you want your gear indicator, your speed and gear indicator. And maybe you want your, maybe a small version of music. Whatever you're interested in, you set it on the right-hand side. Other options are going to be a large version of your shock preload, which this is for the hydraulic shock on the Challengers and the Pursuits. What we're working on is currently a Pursuit Premium, so of course it comes with it. You have a smaller version of that same thing, a trip meter, tire pressure, fuel economy, instant connect to Apple CarPlay, your fuel remaining, engine temp, your compass, your battery, and then a large version of your music. So whichever you prefer to see on this particular screen, remember this is your map, you're gonna press done, and then it's saved forever, until you change it again anyway. Next screen, you do the same thing. Maybe on this particular screen, you want more vehicle information. You can do that. And then maybe on this screen, on your ride screen, let's see, what would we want over here? Oh, your compass, that'd be a good option. Engine temp, sure, why not? Really, it's just whatever you want. Play with it, have some fun. It's one of those things where when you buy your new bike, you'll probably spend 5-10 minutes deciding what you really want to use, and more than likely that's gonna be the way it is forever. Press done, it's all set. That's your rider screens. The next button here is your nav button. This is the full screen nav. Okay, so obviously it's still touch screen. You can drag the map around, look all the way around you. Here on the left, you have your zoom, in and out with different distances that it's showing you. You can change your viewing from direct north, 3D north, or whatever direction you're specifically headed. You can recenter yourself with this button right here. This is your search engine. So obviously you can set your home address, save other addresses, look at recent addresses, but it'll show you all the local gas stations, all the food and drinks, all the lodging, all the attractions. But more than just typing in an address, you can also type in other points of interest. Maybe you want to put in, I don't know, maybe specifically coffee. You click search. Well, it's going to show you all the coffee locations that you're nearby. So let's say we want to take a little cruise to somewhere. I don't know. Sure, let's go to Pete's Coffee. Click on it, press go. The first thing it's going to do is show you the two options for the fastest and the shortest route. You're going to click start on that particular route and follow. If you want to cancel that, there's the X button up there, or you can see the turn-by-turn directions right here. The other piece on your navigation you'll find is this indicator down here. When you click on that, this can show you a couple things: rides and places, map layers, and import and export. Rides and places are all of the rides that you have saved or downloaded from the Ride Command app, as well as the specific locations that you have saved. So, you know, home, work, different places you go to, it'll all be listed right here. You can just click it real quick and go straight to it. The routes that you would have saved are going to be right here. And then different tracks that you've saved as well. To get through that, you'll have the import export button right over here. This is where you're going to download those different roads that you've seen or export the roads that you've been on. More of that on the Ride Command app and online. And then map layers. So it's going to show you your traffic, weather, and speed limit overlay. This is a subscription portion of the Ride Command system. So with this being a brand new 2023 Pursuit Premium, it gets 1 year of that subscription.
Beyond just those overlays on the map itself, this is called Ride Command Plus. So this is the subscription. It's $100 per year. Yes, you're gonna get those overlays on the navigation, but you're also gonna get connections to all the other Ride Command users, which means that you guys get to see each other on the map itself as little colored dots, assuming you're in the same group. It's also gonna give you the ability to double check on your phone the specs and all the information on your bike. It's right there on your phone on the app. So this is integrating everything just from not only the satellite, but also your phone to the bike all the way through and through. Ride Command Plus, subscription, $100 a year.
The next button is going to be your Bluetooth button. So I've already connected my phone to it. So you'll see all your recent calls. Made a lot of calls to Indian Motorcycle of El Cajon. You'll see your contacts. You've got a keypad for calling people. You'll see your recent messages, which I've hidden them for the purpose of this video, and also other devices that are connected to the bike. A lot of this stuff will go away while you're riding for obvious reasons. You can't be looking at messages or dialing the keypad while you are riding, at least not with your fingers. So you'll probably be using Apple CarPlay or voice command to get that going, and that also is on the left control, assuming you have a Bluetooth headset.
One quick note on the Apple CarPlay system. It's a great piece of software embedded into our bikes, but it does have a couple of rules. So number one, you need to have a Bluetooth headset. You need to have voice control, voice commands. It's requiring hands on the handlebars, voice commands for you to be able to actually use. I've seen dongles get past the USB portion of it, but as far as I know, you still need to have some sort of Bluetooth, Sena, Cardo, whatever you're using for voice control. That way it integrates and you can actually use it.
And then you have your music button. So for music, Indian gives you FM radio, AM radio, weather radio, USB, and Bluetooth. Your USB is going to be in this glove box on the right-hand side for your Pursuits and your Challengers. And for the Chieftains and Roadmasters, it's in a glove box that's up here on top. So the process for AM and FM is the exact same thing. Find a station, whatever it is, hold to set it, and then it's there. You do have a button on your left-hand control that controls volume as well as the presets, but of course you can just use your touchscreen if you'd like. And then for weather radio, 7 stations of weather radio, USB, playing from whatever iPod connection that you need to, and of course Bluetooth, simple, straightforward, fun. Now there's a couple other things going on with Ride Command that I'd like to show you. One of them is going to be this drop down. And this looks like a lot of stuff going on, but these are your quick settings. So you can access it either with this drop down here, or you can just press this center button. So first off, up here you have your display brightness, where you can change the brightness of the display, obviously, or you can just leave it on auto. You can also turn the whole dang thing off. Just press the off button and you're good to go. You can bring it back by pressing the center button. On the right hand side, you can get some notifications if there's anything going on with your bike. Maybe your gas cap's open or low fuel or anything like that. Some notifications will be listed right here. And then you got your ride modes, rain, standard, and sport. Or if this was a Chieftain or a Roadmaster, it would be tour, standard, and sport. That changes your throttle response of the motorcycle. You got traction control off and on. For this Pursuit Premium, we have the shock preload again right here, which you can fine tune. Actually, we'll go over all of this here in a second. And then you have your heated grip selection and your rider and passenger heated seat. If it was a Climate Command seat on a Roadmaster or a Chieftain, it would show the cooled portion down here below. Now for your shock preload, let's go over that. So we're gonna go to all settings. We're gonna go to vehicle settings. Right here it says shock preload. We're gonna click on that. So what the electronic shock is it's controlling your preload electronically for the hydraulic shock. What that means is you get to tell the bike what you're doing and it'll control the preload. You first have to set your weights. So we're gonna click edit weights. Here you're gonna indicate what the weights are for the settings that you're telling the bike. So for example, whatever your rider weight is, whatever your passenger weight is, whatever your rack and bag luggage is, as well as your trunk luggage. Now you do have to specify whether your trunk is off and on and whether or not your trunk is light or heavy. So if you consider 25 pounds in your saddlebags as lightweight, and then if you consider 50 pounds, for example, heavyweight in your saddlebags, as well as your trunk, all of these are just weight presets. That's it. You're just setting up the presets. You're gonna click done now. Now, when you go back and you're riding, you're having a good time doing whatever you need to do, you can drag this down or press the button and you just tell the bike, hey, it's me by myself with nothing extra. Or hey, we're going on a long trip, 2 up with some heavy load. Or hey, we stopped off, we grabbed a gallon of milk. Add one fine tune to it. It does your preload for you. Now this is not gonna lift the bike up or slam the bike down or any of that stuff. It is just your preload for the motorcycle. As for your heated grips and your heated and cooled seat options, these are just the electronic controls. There are of course buttons on other parts of the bike that you can use to control those specific features.
Now, if you don't currently have any kind of heated and cooled seat, heated grips, any of those extra features on your Ride Command system, that's okay. Once you purchase that and everything's integrated and plugged into the system, it will pop up on your Ride Command. You'll see those buttons and all the controls there for you. So don't worry, you need a software update to use them. You just need to actually have the hardware piece to get it going.
So let's go through some of these actual settings. I'm gonna go through my quick settings to my all settings. First, just shows you some general info. The general button has quite a bit of info. So first off, day and night mode. Like I said, we've had it on auto. This is what day would look like. And since we're inside, it's just been showing you night. But auto is gonna just swap it back and forth depending on what you got going on at that moment. Account, this is where you hook up your email with the Ride Command app. So this is how you integrate the information from the bike to the Ride Command app. That's gonna allow on the app for you to see your bike statistics, like your fuel range and your mileage, and you can download the manual on the Ride Command app. Everything goes through, it's fully connected. Most of the information that you would ever need is gonna be on there. You just have to connect it. So that's where you connect it. Bluetooth device listings, language, speed units, stuff like that, no big deal. Here's where you integrate Apple CarPlay. Low fuel navigation prompt. If you have low fuel, it'll flash a yellow notification saying, hey, you need to go get some gas. If that's annoying to you and you know what you're doing, just turn it off. Obviously, as this needs a software update, so it's nice that they tell you that instead of you just guessing. And maps, you can manually update the maps. You can just download the latest map file on a flash drive in your computer, plug it into the bike, and there you go. You do not need to bring it into a dealership to get that set up. Time, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Audio, so there's a couple things with audio. You do get an equalizer, which is really nice. You start off with a 5-band equalizer. If you upgrade yourself to the power band audio, you get a 9-band equalizer. So what that would do is upgrade your speakers from 50 watts per speaker to 100 watts per speaker and give you access to a much better equalizer. Vehicle information. So here's going to be a majority of the stuff going on. First off, it's going to be cylinder deactivation.
Now, the rear cylinder deactivation is specifically shutting down the rear cylinder when you come to a stop in either first, neutral, or second. This is only when the engine temperature is above optimal levels. It immediately comes back on once you give it any kind of throttle, and if you're in any other gear, it will not engage. So it needs to be above the temp that's optimal. You need to be in those gears. You need to be in at or full stop for it to actually work, for you to even know that it's even there. If you don't like it, shut it off.
I think most people really do like it. If you notice when I turned this on and off, this little indicator came on. It's an image of a motor with an X over the rear cylinder. So now you understand what that means. Passcode unlock, I'll go over that in a second. Oil life, of course. Diagnostics, it'll show you any kind of current diagnostics codes that haven't been cleared out. Shock preload we went over, tire pressure sensoring, GPS status, and then automatic display power down. So this is something you can turn off if you don't want your display to power down when the bike is not on. It's something I've had to do this whole time while making the video. For the passcode unlock, you only get one key fob with your bike, just one. You do get 2 physical keys. That's going to be for your fork lock as well as your saddlebags if your battery dies or something like that. But only one physical key. So what your dealership should be doing is programming a passcode to the bike so that if your key fob dies or if you lose it or it's stolen, you can still start your bike, move your bike, do what you got to do. I'll show you what that looks like. So if you start your bike up and you do not have your key fob with you, what you will see after this nice little intro is this, enter passcode. By entering this passcode, whatever your code is set up to be, it's like you have your key fob with you. You have full access to the bike. You can start it, you can ride it, you can move on. But you gotta have that passcode to do it. Now, one indicator that you'll have that the key fob is not communicating with the bike is this light right here. That's a shield with a key in it. That's just the bike telling you, hey, I don't see a fob, I can't feel a fob, figure it out, fix me. Luckily, it's really easy to change the code so long as you know what it was previously. So with your key fob with you, you gotta have this with you. Just press passcode unlock. You'll type in the previous passcode, type in the new passcode twice, and you're good to go. If you do not know what the current passcode is, you gotta bring it into an Indian shop, they gotta plug it in. It's the only way to figure it out, sorry. And then there's a really cool hidden secret for fixing any issues that you may have. So if your display brightness is fluctuating and you can't fix it, or if it's glitchy, or really anything, the way that you're gonna fix it is you're gonna hold down the quick settings button for about 3 to 4 seconds, somewhere in there. And it's gonna reset the whole ride command system. And it's gonna come right back, start off just like you started the whole dang thing. Should fix any weird issues you might run into. So as a quick recap, you have your rider screens, you have your navigation, Bluetooth, and music. It's really not too crazy. The only real crazy stuff happens when you start getting into the shock preload, heated grips, heated seats, the ride modes. This is a bit much for some people, I definitely understand, but it's a really simple system with a lot of information to help you out.
So there you go. There's as detailed of a walkthrough on the ride command system as I could possibly give you, going through every single possible screen you can find on that thing. If there's anything that I've forgotten for any reason, go ahead and leave it down below, share it with other people. Let's make sure everybody knows how to actually use these things. And if you'd like for me to review or go over something else in the Indian motorcycle world, put a comment down below as well. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Love you, bye.